Hey guys, this is going to be part 4 of the unofficial bankroll challenge. So yeah, let's get right into it, I guess. I had a quick flick through the hands that are coming up, and there were some pretty interesting spots where I make some debatable plays. Mainly pre-flop actually. So yeah, we're just flying through these just to make sure we set off at the same point we left off in the previous video. Yeah, there's a bit of lag and like not many playable hands. So yeah, this was the first one on the replayer, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's a pretty weird dynamic, so much so that, well, because we're 320 bigs deep against the button, I'm not even sure if I particularly like my play. I think he's labelled as green, and at the time I think that meant he was quite a tight player, like tight aggressive. Having said that, he only c-bet half pot, and I think if he had, I think this is my logic at the time because this is my logic now, I think if he had top set, I think he would go bigger on such a dynamic board, especially given my depth relative to him. Anyway, we do the big check raise. I think going massive here is fine. We'd probably do the same with Jack 10 of diamonds. I think pocket 7s play the same way. I don't think we're too scared of pocket 9s by the button nor the big blind. The big blind just looks like a fun player. And yeah, queens I think I would 4-bet pre. And I think pocket queens just fast play the flop, so I think we're always good on the flop once he calls. So I think the turn bet is okay, but you know, he can turn king jack of diamonds sometimes. Did we go a bit big? Possibly. I guess jack 10 of diamonds we just nuke it anyway. We do have a ton of value and probably not that many bluffs, but it's fine. But yeah, you know, if he jams the turn, for example, if he doesn't fast play the flop with the top set, and you know, if he re-raise his turn, you know, we're in a world of trouble. We don't actually have enough pocket queens to adequately defend ourselves, so I thought that was kind of interesting, and you know, maybe there were some different lines we could have taken there, but I think it's okay as played, but you know, we could have got in some trouble potentially, but I don't think anyone's going to try and bluff a set there. Bluff us off a perceived set. So yeah, this was another spot which I didn't really agree with. I think this is too wide. Probably on my HUD this guy was 3-betting too much, but nonetheless I think this is too wide of a 3-bet. And we do get given the treatment, but yeah, we do have a what's it called? This is still like a really good winning session, even though if you've been watching the series every part, we have been doing a lot of not crazy, but just really wide 4-bets. Maybe at the time the strategy was working really well. Not really sure. I'm doing more 4-bets now in the official bankroll challenge, and they seem to be working pretty well as well. But yeah, you'll see another quite wide 4-bet coming up soon. So yeah, Forgiven's just a fun player, so I think I just tried to maybe turn some kind of hand, some kind of spade. You know how it goes. So yeah, I've talked about these kind of 9-high boards a bit, where we would never check back a value hand on them. So obviously this guy's just a short stacker, so I think it's fine to give up kind of most of the time, or a lot of the time. But I don't hate betting, I guess. But like the 10 is a really bad card, really. You know, if he's got some sort of 10x of clubs, jack 10 of clubs, queen 10 of clubs, queen jack of clubs, I guess we're beating queen jack of clubs. So I'm not really a big fan of my jam here on a non-paired board. I think you can just call with like 7s and 8s. But it does somehow get through, so I guess I should be happy, but I'm not sure about the turn jam or the flop play, to be honest. I think they both could be played a different way. We don't have any clubs in our hand as well. Maybe I thought that was justification for unblocking his flush draws, the ace high flush draws. But yeah, I'm not in love with this play. And then top right we have another weird spot. So he makes a small 3-bet out of position. And we're 150 bigs deep. So normally, given the deep stacked nature of this starting hand, the starting situations, starting parameters, shall we say, I think he should be more incentivized to go bigger with value hands. So it looks like he just kind of face rolled in a big re-raise, which I don't hate. I think it's fine. It's nice to get big value with kings plus in this situation. The queen jack in the bottom left is a pretty goofy hand as well. We'll come to that one maybe simultaneously. Maybe I'll go back for it. I'll probably go back for it. So we flop really good on top right. I think I bet. Oh, I did go really small. That's good. I think that's a correct bet size. Just because, you know, he's not really meant to have aces. He can have ace king, but it's unlikely. So yeah, now it makes sense why he calls flop and then folds turn. So I start sizing up the turn. So that gives us 240. Yeah, I think this is reasonable so that we can jam the river. Although what we could do is go smaller again on the turn and maybe try and bait in like queens, and then we have a pot size bet back rather than 75% pot back. So I think we could also go a bit smaller here, given that we're just completely crushing this board. Yeah, I think I would prefer a smaller bet and then polarize the river, because if he did get scared with ace king or ace queen, he's probably going to pay off the river anyway. And if we can just bait in like another call when he has like queens or jacks, then that's pretty good. So the queen jack one is a pretty weird hand. I don't like how I played it, but at the same time I don't like how Ishtar played it either. So yeah, let's break it down. So he 3-bet. The 3-bet is completely fine. Like this is obviously standard from both parties, I think. So the first thing I think is his mistake. I think he's c-betting way too small on this board texture. Admittedly, I'm not really going to raise any of my range, so maybe that's his logic for betting small. But I don't see many hands in his range that want to bet a third pot. Like, I'm always going to continue with my medium pairs. The queen is generally better for me than it is for him. I probably have more ace queen than he does, or maybe about the same. King queen suited, queen jack suited. I guess we chop in terms of who has more of them. But sixes and sevens I have more of. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of his small c-bet. So let's see what happens. We call. I don't think we can raise, but yeah, it's fine. So an 8 comes on the turn. That's another good card for us. You know, 10s and 9s have improved their EV and their equity. Yeah, you should be showing respect on this card. And I decide to check back in real time. I think given how small he bet the flop, I just think we should be betting the turn for like a small sizing straight back into his face, like a third pot, a quarter pot, half pot, anything like that. I think I was just showing respect because, I don't know, Ishtar's quite tight, and well, he 3-bets really loose, but he somehow always has the nuts, so it's quite weird. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Maybe I was just scared of a check jam. I'm not really sure. Maybe when I talk about his wide 3-betting, that was definitely I definitely remember that for in position. Maybe out of position, maybe he's really tight, so maybe I was showing respect. But then he does something really strange, which is to do a small overbet. And like, basically a typical line is when you bet and then you check call, or if the turn goes check check. But basically when you c-bet the flop, and then you check, and then you continue with the hand. If the next card is like in between the top card and the middle card, it often means you've paired up on it. So if this was like a jack, I think it would be much more reasonable to put him on, say, ace jack suited, c-bet, check call, or check check, or even a 10 ace 10 suited. So what's weird about this line is the turn is the turn is an 8, and similarly the river is also an 8, and like versus MP, how does he 3-bet many 8x, So it's pretty hard for him to have ace 8 suited. 7-8 probably just double barrels. 8-9 suited, like even those hands, they're not actually very good 3-bets out of position, but maybe he just does them anyway. So yeah, this was a pretty goofy hand, and I think given that we block top set as well, if he's trying to polarize, I think queen jack suited is close to the top of our range, so I think we should be leaning more towards a call, but maybe I just know that he's just, I mean, he's definitely not a nit pre-flop, but post-flop he just always has it, so I think I'm just showing respect to that. I don't think, usually when I see him overbet and I pay off, like he's nearly always got it, or every time from my memory, so I think folding was correct, but the hand was really strange. I don't think he's somehow bluffing with like pocket 9s or pocket 10s trying to push off my pocket jacks. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's just going to try and check and win. And then he could also have been trying to check jam the turn with kings plus. So it's a pretty strange hand overall. Or maybe he has like king queen and he just knows I would never check back the turn with a hand better than king queen, this is a really nice value bet if he has ace queen here. So yeah, I guess we'll never know what he exactly had or what his range actually contains right now, but this was a really strange hand, but I'm glad it came up because it's something pretty interesting dynamic to talk about. So I don't know, maybe in the comments if you want to post what you think he had. I'd be pretty interested to hear some theories, because yeah, I mean obviously I've given my analysis, so it could be a hand like ace queen or better, kings plus. I'm having a really hard time giving him credit for trips or a set, 6s or 7s. So yeah, pretty interesting hand. Sorry for the snivelling, by the way. I seem to have picked up a bit of a cold in my new gym, or the gym I started going to, not my gym. Okay, so we make a decent 2 pairs in the bottom left. I think we do get some action, and we improve as well. That's pretty good. Wow, not sure I like this overbet. Yeah, this overbet is really fucking terrible. Like, when the mid pair or bottom pair pairs and you can still beat that card, so if it was a jack and we had aces, I think it makes sense to overbet, because if he has, say, jack 10 suited, he's never going to fold jack 10. So yeah, if we have aces and the turn was a jack, we can overbet because we beat his trips. Sorry, I think I messed up my sentence there. Whereas in this situation, firstly, it's very hard for him to have 4x to flat 4-5 suited. Like, no one flats like an offsuit 4 in that situation. Secondly, his range is so weak. He's gonna have loads of gut shots, loads of just all sorts of garbage. So I think I prefer a smaller sizing, like yeah, even just half pot, because a lot of his ace 10s, like, because they don't beat a chop, they're not going to pay off crazily on the river. So yeah, this was a big mistake. Like, we missed out on a lot of value here if he had some kind of ace. So I hope I bluff this river. If you weren't watching the hand, I think it just went check, 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 check. Then it's on me on the river. We could just play ace 10, any kind of 10. We can so he had a 10, so he wouldn't have folded, but any kind of 10 we can delay value bet on the river. So I definitely think that was a mistake. We can credibly make him fold ace high. He's not going to call ace high in that spot. Delay C bets are pretty credible in general. Okay, this isn't a bad board to just C bet on. We can fold out sevens through to jacks. So yeah, I think the way I'm playing right now, I would like a bet here. On the flop, that is. On the turn, yeah, even the turn, we can fold out the better hands, which are equivalent to our hands in terms of pocket pairs. So I would definitely prefer a bluff somewhere with this hand. And then we've just opened the door for him, so that's pretty unfortunate. So we 3-bet ace king, get a fold. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure what happened with ace deuce. Limp call. Okay, so we do make the nut flush and we peel the jack 10 suited. Okay, yeah, I think I'd like a small c-bet on the ace deuce off. I think 7 is just, I think it's just really big. He's gonna have a lot of junk, but then again, well, he's gonna have a lot of junk which we dominate, like kind of jack 9 off. I mean, we're not dominating it, but if a heart comes in, he's going to pay off anyway. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about the big size. Actually, it's not. I think he's going to have a lot of mid-range pairs as well, 8x, 7x. So yeah, kind of building the pot and building the kind of intimidation factor against them. I think that's pretty good as well. So yeah, I would like a small stab on the flop with the jack 10 suited, because if you're checking 6-4-3 rainbow, you've probably got not a very strong hand. It's really hard for him to have a 7 in this situation. I completely hate his check raise. I think it's one of the worst lines I've seen in all of these hands today. I would definitely check back 7s on the flop just in case he was going for a check raise. Against this play, I would only call with a set or a straight. Am I bluffing this spot a lot? To be fair, yes, but just if I'm bluffing this spot with, say, jack 10 suited, you just don't need to go for pot. Like, what is the point? And like, yeah, it just makes no sense. What 7x is he? So I think I just gave him the nit tag, like a bad nit tag. Firstly, what 7x is he representing? Yeah, it's just like really random. So yeah, somehow we're 18 minutes in. So yeah, I think I'm going to call this one there. Just because I want to keep the video short and sweet. So we did have some interesting spots. Maybe we didn't get through as many hands as I would have liked, but 18 minutes of analysis is still pretty good. So yeah, I'll just pause it here. I'll try and get another one of these out, tomorrow, so we can keep the 200 NL kind of story going. So yeah, if you don't know, so we're 1 hour into a 3-hour session, and at the 2-hour mark, we are up about like 1.2k. So this was a really big winning session, even though we've made some arguably pretty big mistakes with 4 bets, just punting off like $50 at a time where people aren't 3-bet folding enough. So yeah, hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.